Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fudge Nugget Kingdom. My name is Apollo Justice and welcome back to... Did I just say Apollo Justice? Did I actually? Hello everyone and welcome back to the Fudge Nugget Kingdom. My name is Genesis9876 and welcome back to Apollo Justice Appeal to Truth. Now in the last episode, which was also the first episode, we took on an alternate universe of the fourth game in the main Phoenix Wright series, Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. So this is our first game. We're playing as Apollo Justice. We're defending our client, Andrea Medina, who's accused of killing someone in a research center on space. And we managed to pin the blame on one of her colleagues, Edwin Sharp, but in order to actually go through with that accusation, we're gonna have to prove it, so strap yourselves in, boys. It's time. May 26th, 12:05 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. Alright, Justice, you made it this far. You can do this. Everything's fine. You're fine. Sir Justice. Ah! Eep! Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Andrea is so freaking adorable. I love it. No, it's all right. Were you going to say something? Oh, I just thought you were doing a really good job. Hold on, that, could have sounded better. Good Sir Justice, your efforts on this fine day seemed as finely arranged as the life-giving stars. I wish upon you my greatest thanks, with as great an intensity as the sun's heat itself. You're welcome? I didn't really do that good of a job, did I? Well, it sort of seemed like it to me. Really? Thanks. Where's Sir Clay? He's technically still a witness for the prosecution, so he's forced to go to the prosecutor's lobby. Payne's probably really ticked off at him. He'll probably sneak back in here first chance he gets. Yeah, that sounds about right. Why? I was just thinking, if he had heard you question yourself, he'd probably yell at you for it, right? Yeah, you're probably right. Do you want me to yell for you? Nah, it's okay, I'm good. Thanks, Andre. Oh no, it's fine. Oh. I kind of wanted to yell. I mean, if you really want to. No, never mind. I wouldn't do it right. Okay. So, would you mind if I asked you a few questions? We didn't really have time to talk before considering, well, you know, the two of us being utterly abandoned. Yeah, that. Ouch. Go ahead. Alright, let's see, where am I even supposed to start? Can you tell me a bit more about the situation with your research paper? Oh, really? Yeah. That seemed pretty important. Oh, well, if you really want to know, then, well, we were collecting data on foreign and looking for any potential especially for variations of the curry, and then we measure them by country, mainly for its Oh my god. I killed something like that in our oh my That was a lot of freaking stuff. I couldn't even keep up with that. What is it? Just don't say that, especially not now. What did I eep? I knew I should have known better. Let's just say, it was a work of divine importance necessary for decoding the secrets of the ethereal universe. Look, you can try to sound as cool as you like. It's not going to change what you've already said. Trust me, I have experience. Oh. Actually, I was kind of asking about, you know, the paper's relevance to the case. Oh, of course. It's alright. I mean, after a ramble like that, I doubt your work would be the product of any sort of plagiarism. Right? Of course not. Well, I feel better with confirmation on that much. I'm not sure where that leaves us with Mr. Sharp's motive, though. Sir Edwin, he's always been peculiar, but... to think he actually... He's our most likely suspect right now, namely because there's no real other suspect. At least I hope he is. You know him better than I do. Can you think of any reason he might have... well... No, I can't see why he'd make such a big deal out of my silly research paper. Oh, he's lying. Ouch. That was the ring, right? But Apollo doesn't know about the ring. Okay, for clarification, based on people who don't care about spoilers, Apollo has this ring that tells when people are lying, and whenever people are lying, the screen kind of goes all negative like that, like what just happened. Sir Justice, what's wrong? It's fine. I'm fine. Fine? You just cried out in pain. No, it's okay. It was just my bracelet. Your bracelet? I don't know. It just squeezes around my wrist sometimes. That's totally normal. Maybe it's just getting too big for me? I might have just moved my wrist at a weird angle. You know, something like this. Come on, haven't I made enough of a fool of myself already today? How long have you been wearing it? Well, great, now I get to look even more of a weirdo. As long as I can remember? That's strange. Even she's speechless. Did you wear it when you were a baby, Apollo? Can I... No, you cannot. Huh? Well, I was wondering if I could just observe it for a while. To try to figure it out. It doesn't have to be now, maybe sometime later. Yeah, I guess that's okay, as long as I get it back. I'll see if I can find a good time to hand it over to you. Think of it as, something to look forward to if I can get you out of this mess? Alright, I can do that. Oh, there you are. Hey, Apollo. Apollo, is something happening? Oh, Clay, when did you get here? Never mind that. I'm here for... Just give me a moment, will you? I need to catch my breath. Defense, the research has ended. Did I say research? Oh my god, I'm messing up everything today. Defense, the recess has ended. Please proceed to the courtroom. Alright, time's up. Let's go. But I only just got here. May 22nd. Did I say 22nd? Oh my god. May 26th, 12:22 p.m., District Court. I can say words that are on the screen. Oh, let's bang that gavel. Courts will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Andrea Medina. I trust the defense and prosecution have thought over their positions on this case. Oh yeah, right, we were supposed to do that. I'm screwed.
The prosecution's plea has not changed, Your Honor, as you no doubt expected from me.
But what about all the inconsistencies as I pointed out? What happened to those?
Now, don't sell me short, Mr. Justice. I can see that the lab coat was likely swapped, but not for any of the nefarious reasons the defense implies. At least not for my witness. Afraid her real fingerprints would implicate her if the murder had been discovered, the defendant swapped her lab coat onto the victim. Sure, her fingerprints were all over her own, but by swapping them, her defense would be able to point out a convenient contradiction. But maybe she could have tipped off her defense attorney if things had gone sour. Who knows? She wasn't planning on the body being found after all. Think of it as an insurance, just in case something like this happened. It is possible, right, Your Honor?
Well, I guess that could be a possibility. Maybe you could prove that possibility? That'd be nice. I think somebody's reaching just a little.
After swapping the coat, she carried the victim to the car. Then she used his own lab coat and the nearby water source to wipe off the bloodstains.
Well then, where would she have hid the victim's lab coat? She couldn't exactly go back inside the research center with it, considering it'd be covered in blood.
Don't you worry, I assure you I found quite the lead. While in the lobby, I took the time to ask my witnesses a few questions, and discovered that during the drive out of town, Mr. Terran's car was acting strangely.
Well, yeah, it's an old car. It acts up from time to time. Don't tell me something's in the muffler. If something's in the muffler, I'm going to actually cry.
As you can see, Your Honor, the witness doesn't deny the fact.
Wait a second.
I think it's possible that a defendant disposed of the evidence by stuffing it inside the inner workings of the car.
Okay, so not in the muffler. Good.
Our investigators didn't check there after all. We had no reason to suspect anything at the time. And it explains why the car would have been acting up at that time. I've already assigned forensics to look for it or any traces that may be left behind.
Quite confident, aren't you, Mr. Payne?
Well, I like to stay on top of things. Well then, if If the court doesn't mind, I'd like to move on to more testimony. I have talked at length with my previous witness, and he's found a way to cast doubt on the defense's accusations.
Very well, as long as you keep it concise.
Well, Mr. Sharp, if you would come to take the stand again, please.
Hey, Edwin. How's it going, my guy?
Here is requested, good sirs.
As we all recall, the defense has made quite an accusation against your character. Tell me, Mr. Justice, do you really think this witness went so far as to plan to conceal evidence because of this plagiarism scandal alone? Or what am I wrong in asserting that the defense believes my witness was driven by more than just his client's actions?
I can't deny the possibility.
I knew it. I knew he's trying to pin it all on me.
Well then, witness, I think it's best we dispel that possibility first. Don't you agree?
Why does Paint seem like oddly competent right now?
Yes, of course. Right away.
Alright, witness testimony. Let's get back into it. Why, I couldn't have done it.
It's to riot impetus to frame Andrea, but to kill my employer for no reason? That's just a preternatural. I never even went to the balcony that day, much less for murder. Besides, I wouldn't set up such a capricious murder. There'd be far too many opportunities to be noticed. For instance, your friend, Mr. Taryn, was in the lobby while the whole affair occurred. I would have had to empty the car's trunk to hide the body. He should have noticed me sneaking in, no? Tell me now, do you think any of my rationale unfounded?
Well, there is one thing that's bothering me. Mr. Sharp, why would you need to ferry the contents of the car back inside? Wouldn't it have been safer to avoid going back in altogether?
About that, I, like my coworker, happen to lack possession of a certain embellatory item used for means of personal transport.
You mean you can't drive?
It's not that I can't drive. We just happen to live in the city, so it wasn't worth...
No, Mr. Sharp, there's no shame in not being able to drive a car. They do have a lot of complicated new thingamabobs these days, don't they? Why, I've recently gotten to the age where I can't just keep track of it anymore. I mean, what is a steering wheel?
No, Your Honor, I'm sure I would be able to drive perfectly well if I cared to.
Why, there's no need to be...
I'm not some adult old man like you. I'm sure I have much greater...
What was that just now, young man? The judge is gonna throw some hands again.
Well, let's not get caught up in something so trivial, please. The point is, it would have been difficult for a witness to get anything off the crime scene. And of course, our investigators made sure the scene of the murder was thoroughly searched.
So by that logic, he had to sneak all of Andrea's stuff back inside.
Or be innocent in this matter, yes.
Right. I guess it's not going to be that easy. Come on, Apollo. We come too far to give up now. Just get this guy under some pressure, and he's sure to slip up somehow. Right. It wasn't that hard to trip him up the first time. Well, then let's see it happen again. Alright, cross-examination. Let's do this. Alright, it's time to press. I think we need to press. I think this is a good time to press. Oh, it didn't refill my health bar.
Aww. It's trying impetus to frame Andrea, but to kill my employer for no reason? That's just preternatural.
Press. There had to have been some sort of reason. Wasn't there any bad blood between you and the victim? Because baby, now we got bad blood? No employer can be perfect, no matter how good-natured or skilled they look on paper. Did you discover anything you didn't like about your boss after he hired you?
No, not particularly.
Oh!
You see, not everyone has an experience like that. I can say that we prosecutors are employed under very talented and just head of department. Oh, let it be known, I have very few problems with whatsoever.
I can't decide which one of these two is the more desperate.
I never even went to the balcony that day, much less for murder.
Press. Do you have any way to prove that? Any way at all?
Well, you see, the nature of proof is a fictional thing. We first need to consider what we would merit as proof.
Evidence. Literal, cold, hard, fact evidence.
Yes, evidence, Mr. Justice. We're waiting to see evidence that casts doubt on the witness's testimony. And it's not the witness who we're expecting to see it from. If there's something so wrong with this statement, show us something to prove it.
Right. Do I even have the evidence I need to prove he went to the balcony that day?
You know what? Just to play it safe, we'll say no for now, and then come back to it later. So no.
No, I'm not seeing anything in the court record that would help. Best just to play it safe, I guess.
Ha! No answer, defense! Why am I not surprised?
Just give it some time, I'll come up with something. Hopefully.
Besides, I wouldn't set up such a capricious murder. There'd be far too many opportunities to be noticed. Press.
If your previous testimonies are anything to go by, well, I wouldn't exactly expect you to have a flawless murder plan.
If my previous testimonies are anything to go by, of all the things, is that the kind of person you are? Are you going to keep on nagging me for all my little mistakes?
I wouldn't exactly call them little mistakes, they were pretty big.
I'm not stupid. I would have known people were in the lobby. Do I have to prove myself to you?
Well, whoa there!
Hey, come on now, Mr. Sharp. Don't let the defense get under your skin.
Clearly, we have been getting supremely under this guy's skin.
He's just trying to make you slip up again, that's all.
I knew that.
Then let's get back to your testimony, please.
Right, of course. Let's see. For instance, your friend, Mr. Taryn, was in the lobby when the whole affair occurred. Press that.
How do you know that for sure?
Well, it's super elementary. I noticed him just before I left the building and whilst on to the murder scene. It's not as if this was the first time he's ever done this. He had frequented the center, precedently. It's just a matter of noticing a few details. Even I wouldn't make such an oversight.
Even I.
Huh? Well, you know me, completely absorbed in my head of, smart ideas. You couldn't find a complicated synonym for that one, could you?
Intellectualisms?
Shrewd schemes?
Yes, both of those. Both of those are beyond apt. See, you two are quite talented yourselves. I'm sure were the occasions different, we could all get along quite well.
Sure. Not at all.
I would have had to empty the car's trunk to hide the body. Should have noticed me sneaking in. No. Press. Just press all of this.
You must have had some sort of opportunity.
Is that so? Is there anything at all that's indicated I had the opportunity to sneak inside unnoticed? Oh my god, there are multiple? Oh, okay. Good. That's good that I said no last time. Okay. Again, we know all our options. We can go back whenever we need.
I guess not.
Come on, Apollo, we need this.
I'm sorry, I just can't think of anything at the moment.
Alright, let's try going through his testimony one more time then. Okay, we pressed everything. So, chances are, I feel like at least one of those, questions we saw within the pressings is going to be helpful to us. The question is, which one of them? Do I even have the evidence I need to prove he went to the balcony that day? That has the defendant's fingerprints. That has the research photo. There was death caused by a stab wound, but that's not really gonna prove that... Would that prove that he went to the balcony? Because, again, he said he saw it from afar, right? Most definitely he would have been able to see it. Right? I'm thinking. Let's see. Crime photo, that doesn't really connect. None of this connects to Edwin Sharp, really. Except for this newspaper article, but that doesn't really do much. So I don't think it's this one. I'm gonna say no again. So let's go back to the other one real quick. Oh! This is new dialogue. Ooh, am I gonna see some of the fancy lawyer tricks you learned over the last few months sometime soon?
Yeah, of course. I've, sure learned a lot. Sorta.
I think I have too. I think I understand why you lawyers put so much time into yelling and stuff. It keeps you all invested in the case, focused on the matter at hand, 100% in the zone.
You think we're trained to do that?
Yeah, weren't you taught to dramatically pound the desk and all that stuff too? Isn't that taught in your lawyer school curriculum?
Not really? Not at all? What, you think someone taught me my chords of steel, bro?
Okay, so I think that was on the last statement, right? Oh god dang it, I messed up. Hang on, let's circle back. Okay, it's this statement, right? You must have had some sort of opportunity, is that so? Is there anything at all that indicated I had an opportunity to sneak inside unnoticed?
Yeah. Actually, Mr. Sharp, I think there is.
Well, then what is it? What proves I had this kind of opportunity?
Oh God. I don't know. I'm just, can I save? I can save. Let me save. Obviously, it was... Okay, let's think about this, right? The crime photo probably won't help, so that's out. We can rule that out. I think we can rule out the attorney's badge, too. Because, I mean, for obvious reasons. The autopsy report proves that he was shoved on the back, but it doesn't necessarily prove that anyone had to sneak by unnoticed, right? If we look at the diagram, he may have had the opportunity to sneak into the lab unnoticed, but I don't think that can be proved with the diagram itself. So probably not that one. Honestly, my best guesses are either... Actually, I don't think it would be the plagiarism article either. So I think my best guess would have to be either the research center photo, because he could have sneaked in via the windows, or it would have to be the lab coat itself. So I'm gonna try the lab coat. Shoot! God dang, it's obviously the research center photo. It wasn't any of... Maybe it's one of the profiles? Because, like, okay. Everyone claims he cared a lot about his research center, especially its reputation. Okay. Claims he witnessed the crime in some capacity. Alright. The accused in this crime. So Paulo wasn't really paying much attention. Right? Oh, wait. Clay said he saw some people go by into the research center, right? Right? Yes! Yes! I'm a smart guy. I can do smart things. You may not remember it, Mr. Sharp, but you had the perfect opportunity to sneak inside. In fact, covering up the murder could have been easy. Were you paying attention earlier during this trial at all? Or were you too caught up in trying to work out what excuse you cobbled together into a testimony?
What exactly are you getting at?
Think back to the very beginning of this trial. She was ferrying everything into the trunk at first, and yeah, I wasn't keeping too close an eye on her. But later she realized she'd lost her research notes, and we spent most of her time trying to find them. Oh, right. I actually didn't even think about that. Oh God, I'm dumb. If there was any time to sneak back inside, it would have to be when Clay and my client weren't watching. They were too busy looking for research to notice anyone. I should have gotten that. Oh my God. I don't know why I wasn't thinking that.
Well, wait, hold on a second. Even if he did have the opportunity, you haven't proven anything at all. Besides, how would he even know he was safe to go inside in the first place?
Well, he'd have to take the risk one way or another, right?
And walk straight inside with incriminating evidence in his hands. I don't think any of us would be insane enough to try that.
He's right. Come on, Justice, think. If I can just prove he had some kind of knowledge of their search, any sort of connection between our suspect and this opportunity could be huge for us. What's wrong, Apollo? I need more information. There's no way we can prove he'd known about the search with what we have now. Well, we're not going to get any good testimony out of this guy, that's for sure. Andreas should know the most about what happened when you guys left the front lobby, right? Yeah, that might work. Mr. Payne.
Yes?
If you're not satisfied with the window of opportunity the defense has shown you, why don't we learn some more about it? I'd like to request that Miss Medina testify to the court about what happened at the time.
But
if Mr. Sharp is innocent like he claims, then there should be nothing to worry about, right? Oh, he's sweating.
All right, very well then. If the defendant could please take the stand.
Okay.
This is hardly necessary at this point in the trial, but for formality's sake. Name and occupation, please.
Andrea Medina, and destiny has led me onto the astronomer's path. Miss Medina, just before you left the scene to go stargazing, Clay said you lost your research notes, and you spent a good while trying to find them, right? That's true, Sir Justice. Can you testify about everything you've noticed during that time? Any details you can think of would help. We need as much information as possible. I'm not sure what I can say will be all that useful. I was, as dazed as someone who who gazed into their distant future, thrown into the chaos of the universe. A shaken child of the starry sky, afraid of where its guidance would lead. It's okay if you were kind of freaked out at the time. Apollo, don't put it so bluntly. Sorry? You see, Andrea, what he's trying to say is, don't worry about the circumstance, just retell the events as you remember them. We'll call you out if anything you say doesn't match the facts, alright? And if we find any inconsistency, we'll figure out exactly what caused it. And hopefully it will lead us somewhere useful. Hopefully not useful for the prosecution. Oh, alright, I'll tell you what I can, Sir Justice. Witness testimony. Research. I was nearly done getting the stargazing equipment in the car when I realized my research was missing. Mr. O'Ryan had been really enthusiastic about my work, so he'd made it kind of hard to get access to. I think it was about 8:07 p.m. when I realized I couldn't find it. I found Sir Clay near the front lobby and he helped me, he put my thoughts back into an arrangement as stable as the constellations above. We went through this whole building several times, but we couldn't find the faintest trace of my research. In the end, we had to give up. Sir Clay wanted to get my mind off it, so we left immediately after. Clay, you were there with her. Does this sound right to you? Yeah, it's pretty much what I remember happening.
Rest assured, there'll be nothing you can prove with this testimony. I'd like my witness to know he can rest easy. This will all take care of itself in due time.
Hey, I'm going to prove something.
Oh, and just what is that?
I have to do the cross-examination first.
Oh, look, your defendant is truly inspired with confidence.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna figure this out. I promise. Don't worry. Swear by the stars and all that, you know? Sir Justice, if you try to swear by the stars, you have to sound more mystical when you say it. It's more convincing that way. Right. I swear by the ever-distant stars that I will, use your sacred words to prove my case to these, putrid people. You're gonna call the judge putrid people too? Holy crud. Instant regret mode, activate. Ooh, I bet I can do better. I want to try.
Can we just move on to the testimony, please?
Yes, let's.
Right away, Your Honor. Oh my god, Apollo. Apollo's awesome. I was nearly done getting the stargazing equipment in the car when I realized my research was missing. And let me press that. Was there any particular reason you decided to check on your research? I mean, it's not like you just keep it out in the open, right? No, I just wanted to check on everything before I left. I suppose it was just a whim of fate. So, you didn't need to bring your papers with you for stargazing? Oh, no, not on this occasion. It was another scientific endeavor, right, Andrea? One that was certainly worth, you know, me using the Space Center's car to drive you out there. No, it was just for recreation. Hey, take that back! Yeah, I was also working on another project for, later down the line. For whatever strange reason, I have a feeling I shouldn't ask too much about that bit. What were they hiding? Oh, they were taking it out for recreational use, but they shouldn't have, right? I getcha. Mr. O'Ryan had been really enthusiastic about my work, so he'd made it kind of hard to get access to. We'll see about that. You must have been pretty proud of it then, huh? Well, I only kind of. Is that all? Details, remember? Oh, sorry. That work of mine was only the first star in an arrangement. The first of my 12 labors. It was merely so we could be recognized as a comet among the night, to give me access to tools that would uncover the darkness, setting me on a course to endeavors true to my fiery core.
Oh my!
That was better, right?
Well, yes, of course. That sounded very fanciful.
Oh, that's so good to hear, Your Honor. I was starting to think nobody would be enamored by my performances. Yeah, good job! I think it was about 8:07 when I realized I couldn't find it. Press! That's an awfully specific time to give us. Yeah, that was really specific, actually. Didn't you tell me to give as many details as possible? True. Well, yeah, I guess. How did you know that, though? Were you, like, looking at a clock or a watch or something? Should I have given more somehow? I don't think I can remember the exact seconds. Actually, can you tell us how you knew the time so accurately? Oh, well, if you look at the layout of the research center, there's a, golden-plated instrument from the time the sky was unknown, used for the foul means of murder. Huh? Oh, the sundial. I, use the sundial to tell the time. Oh, got it. I never actually really used a sundial. Can you tell the time so accurately with the sundial? That was important, wasn't it? I guess it could be. Here, I'll add it in just in case. I just been outside and noticed the time on the sundial press. Isn't it kind of odd that you can remember a detail like that so accurately? Well, me and Sir Clay were about to go stargazing. I wanted to keep an eye on the time so that we could get the best view. There are a lot of different factors that influence what you see. I could get into it, but I don't think the court would be very interested. The point is, it was something I was keeping track of before I noticed my work was missing. So I wasn't so, stressed out at the time? Yeah, that. I guess that makes sense. I found Sir Clay near the front lobby and helped me, helped you what? Why exactly did you need to go get Clay? For help. I said it in the testimony just now. Yeah, but was there any reason in particular?
Now, I think it's obvious enough. There's no reason to badger your very own client.
Sorry, I just wanted to make sure I was getting all the details.
What detail could you possibly be missing?
I don't know. I'll take whatever bone I get thrown at this point. That's true, you know? You take what you get.
Well, develops his standards for all our sakes.
Yes, sir. Oh, come on. You're one to talk, Payne. You're one to talk. He put my thoughts back into an arrangement as stable as the constellations above. Press. You mean he helped you get yourself back together so you could begin your search, right? Well, in a more blunt manner of speaking, yes. What does that mean? So you mean you must have been pretty upset to lose your research then? Well, yes, I don't think it was my best work, but a lot of effort went into it. I didn't want to lose it. Yeah, Paul, imagine losing your last few months of legal training. It'd be awful, wouldn't it? Can I plead the fifth on that one? We went through the whole building several times, but we couldn't find the faintest trace of my research. Press. Did you notice anything else that seemed out of place? Anything at all? Out of place. Out of place. Well, we were kind of in a hurry, so I don't really have my eye ready for detail. Everything seemed in place enough. It looks like I'm going to have to point out something more directly to spur her memory. Okay. Something else wrong. Something else wrong. In the end, we had to give up. Sir Clay wanted to get my mind off it, so we left immediately after. Press. So, you didn't place anything else in the trunk afterwards? No, sir. Almost everything was already in there before I realized my research was gone. Or as far as I knew, anyway. She seemed pretty bothered, so I thought we shouldn't stick around for much longer. You know, to get her mind off things.
I'm sure she was more than happy to acquiesce. Blah, blah, blah. Considering she'd recently stuffed a body inside that very trunk.
Hey, we don't know that for sure. Innocent until proven guilty.
Yes, I suppose you're right. But if the defense's questioning keeps yielding pointless details, I'm sure we'll gain a little more certainty.
Just you wait until one of my useless questions proves something. Something up? Just racking my brain for anything that doesn't seem right, but her testimony mostly checks out with what I know. I mean, we probably want her to be telling the truth. Ideally, we find some way to connect Miss Sharp to the whole thing. Man, if only I double-checked the trunk. It's alright, we'll solve this case one way or another. Right, we'll be fine. Okay. I think that was like the ending message, right? Yeah, it was. Okay, so we have two leads on this one. The first lead is the fact that we got the statement that he could notice, or that Andrea noticed the time on the sundial, right? But we also have this lead right here, right? The one where she's thinking of something else wrong, right? And we need evidence to spur her memory on what could possibly have been wrong at the time. So we have two leads on this. I'm gonna save, by the way. We have two leads on this. So my first thought right now is that... Hang on, let me find the right statement. I just been outside and noticed the time on the sundial, right? My thought is... Credence Orion was killed sometime from 8 to 8:10. 8:07 fits like within that time, but closer to the end. Wouldn't he have noticed, or wouldn't Andrea have noticed it if she was checking the time so accurately, right? Because, like, the autopsy report is pretty accurate in that it says 8 to 8:10 p.m. So I'm thinking this might be a worthy objection. God dang it, I thought I was doing good. I thought I was big braining this. Maybe I got the evidence wrong on the sundial, actually. Maybe that was it. Cause maybe I need to actually show the sundial and show that it was, like, stabbed through. Apparently that worked. Okay. I still feel like the autopsy report should have worked, but you know what? Okay, yeah, that's fine. I get it. Miss Medina, I'm afraid that's just not possible. Just look at the shadow the sundial casts. Maybe you could tell the general time, but exact minutes, I don't think that I had the completely wrong idea. I'm so freaking stupid at these games. Whenever I get the answer right, it's completely on accident. Are you sure it was the sundial that tipped you off? I guess it couldn't have been, huh? Oh, okay. So sundials aren't meant for telling the exact time. Okay. I remember now. It was my phone. I knew the time because I checked my phone. I must have misremembered. I was keeping an eye on the dial at first. That's why I'm confused. Yeah, that's it. Is it really? Did you check your phone for any particular reason? Yeah, actually, I got a text message at a time. A text message? That's a weird thing to forget. Who was it from? Well, it was kind of, well... What is it? Oh, that text message might have been important. You know, it's funny. I don't seem to remember. Oh. Huh? Andrea? What are you hiding? What do you mean? You can tell too, can't you, Apollo? Something's up. Yeah, something's fishy. Yeah. Miss Medina, are you sure you don't remember? No, she does remember. She's hiding something. If there's a chance, however small the detail, this could help your case. You need to tell us. You're right. I should. The text, it was from Sir Edwin Oh! Mr. Sharp? Eep! Oh my god. He was just bothering me about the plagiarism accusations, that's all. Why didn't you mention this earlier? This could be huge. Well, it directly connects him to your search. Just submit your phone as evidence and the tide will immediately turn in the defense's favor. Did you delete it? You deleted it, didn't you? You deleted it! Miss Medina. I can't, Sir Justice. Why not? It's not in the cards. Fate says... Come on, drop the act! This could help you get declared innocent! I'm sorry, I deleted the message. I knew it! God dang it! Excuse me? No. Why would you do that? It's exactly what we need right now. I didn't know how important it would be at the time. He was pestering me and I didn't want to deal with it, that's all. That's understandable, but I did get the message. I swear, it was him. Oh, God.
Sure you did, Miss Medina. It would be awfully convenient to have received it after all. Oh, but wait. Isn't it just a little suspicious that you didn't testify about receiving it in the first place?
That's just because I knew this would happen. I'm not lying.
Your Honor, I don't see how the defense has proven anything with this testimony.
Uh-oh.
Except its reliance on the defendant's lies.
The prosecution is right. I'm afraid I can't accept the defendant's claim, especially considering the circumstance. Not quite sure I like the implications of the defendant telling such a lie either.
Uh-oh. No, Your Honor. I can prove it. There's gotta be some way to prove it. Anything. Come on. Isn't there anything? Anything at all? Your Honor. Huh?
Right on cue.
Oh my, what's this?
We completed the tests asked for by the prosecution. The test? Oh, right.
I think it's possible that our defendant disposed of the evidence by stuffing it inside the inner workings of the car.
Right.
Our investigators didn't check there after all. We had no reason to suspect anything at the time.
Right. Okay, so he did a search from that, right? Okay, that makes sense.
And And it explains why the car would have been acting up at the time. I've already assigned forensics to look for it or any traces that may be left behind.
Back already. Do go right ahead.
We had to take apart some of the car, but we found traces of bloody lab coat inside, sir. Oh, God, no!
Oh my, it appears the prosecution's hunch was correct.
Well, would you look at that? Another fine job on my part, Your Honor.
If only you'd realized this during the actual investigation, Payne. Please tell me they put that car back together. It's not technically mine. I was hoping for something a little more helpful right about now, honestly.
As for the prosecution's other requests, sir.
Other request?
Why, yes, Your Honor. Whilst the defense has been failing to prove any of their claims whatsoever, I asked forensics to look into something that could support mine.
We checked the fingerprints on the handle to the door. It leads out to the balcony. We didn't find any fingerprints belonging to Mr. Sharp, sir. But we did find those of both the victims and the defendants. Oh, crud. Oh, this is getting worse. It's getting much worse.
Oh, no.
What's more, the balcony isn't used very often.
Why, of course. It's hard for astronomers to get a good view of the sky so close to the city, after all.
A coating of dust still remain in places on the doorknob.
Ah, so you see, there's no way the fingerprints could have been wiped.
Ah, crud.
Wait a second.
I think this makes my case abundantly clear, Your Honor. Especially considering the defense's recent failings.
Yes, I'm inclined to agree, Mr. Payne.
Holy crud. We're backed into a corner.
Wait a minute, Your Honor. Give me a little more time. The defense needs time to respond to the prosecution's new evidence.
We've given you ample time to reinforce your stance, Mr. Justice. Considering this, Your Honor, the defense's miraculous second suspect was nowhere near where the murder took place that day. What's more, when we gave the defense an opportunity to prove his connection to the murder, the defense added a convenient detail that she didn't even testify in the first place. Hasn't this case gone on long enough? Need I go on?
But what about everything I've proven?
Proven what? A couple of possibilities? I've explained them all away with this evidence.
But my fingerprints are only on the door handle from when I was looking for my research. I didn't murder him. I didn't murder Mr. Orion, I swear.
I think that's enough from you.
Now wait, please. There's more I can tell you.
I think you should just let your attorney speak for you from now on. Come now, Mr. Justice, surely there'd be something wrong with my argument if she was innocent.
I don't have the slightest idea what to say. Think, Apollo, there's gotta be something. The case was under my control just a moment ago. How did I let it turn around on me so quickly?
Speechless, I see. Your Honor, I rest my case. Hair flab! Surely a remarkable one fitting of the standards of our newly improved prosecutor's office. Wouldn't you say?
Why, yes, you've done quite a good job by your standards, Mr. Payne.
By your standards. Dang, Judge. You're really gonna do him like that?
Why, of course I have. I don't think I've done such a fine job in years.
You really haven't.
The verdict, if you would please.
Wait, what was that voice? Huh. Oh my god, it can't be who I think it is it?
Oh no!
No.
Oh! What? Huh? Him?
Him? What are you doing here? Why are you here? Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to present to you Mr. Prosecutor Godot. Why in the heck are you here? You, prosecutor.
Me?
Can I ask you a question? Let's say you like your coffee pure. In fact, it's superior that way. Are you still so little of a man that you'd say a brew poisoned with sugar milk isn't coffee? Ruined as it may be, you can't ignore the fact of the matter. And you can't ignore a defendant either.
Right, of course. But,
Seriously, why are you here?
Godot!
Huh, is that sniveling lukewarm excuse for a prosecutor actually posing a threat to you? Somehow you're even more inept than I thought you were, kid. Apparently they know each other. Even in a constant boil, a bad blend can't escape its inferiority, I suppose.
This case is only such a wreck because you didn't show up on time. You're the boss? No. No freaking way. I did not expect that. See, I played this game a year ago, but again, the details are fuzzy and I didn't remember this at all. Oh my god. This case is only such a wreck because you didn't show up on time. You've hardly taught me anything. What did you expect would happen? You certainly shouldn't have needed to be bailed out. Not in a case like this, and not to a prosecutor like that. This world stops for no one. You can't adapt, you can't survive. Hey, who do you think you are? You can't just throw some fancy proverbs around and expect me to let it slide. It's his thing, Clay. It's his thing. What kind of ridiculous expectations do you have? You should have at least been here in the first place. I recommend you keep the extra on a tighter leash, kid. Those types are liable to say something stupid. Excuse me?
Mr. Godot!
Ignore the appetizers, old man. I'm here now, aren't I? And apparently a defense attorney. But don't chain yourself with hesitations, Your Honor. Whose name is listed under defense attorney for today's little courtroom bout? Why don't you tell me? This is so freaking weird. So, are you gonna let me construct my case or not?
Well, I guess.
Good old man, that's what I like to hear. If you want to get anywhere in life, you're going to need to learn when to stay in line. That's one of my rules. You have a lot of rules, my guy. Apollo, you can't just let him take over the case like this. I mean, he's kind of my boss. This has to be some kind of sick joke. This guy's not actually your boss, is he? He is. Your boss is supposed to be, like, really good, right? Well, yeah. If the court could please stay focused for more than a few seconds. Defendant, just before I came in, you mentioned something about having more to tell us, didn't you? Well, I'm not really sure if it'll be all that helpful, so... Oh! Coffee slam! Try as you might, little lady. If you were to sneak the slightest bit of sugar amidst my cup of bitter darkness, I would no doubt notice. Now why don't you make this easy for me? Or am I going to have to pour every little detail about this case right out into the light? Oh! Yeah. Andre is still hiding something. Your Honor, is there any way Sir Justice can, maybe take the case back from... Huh. My office isn't going to bear another blemish on its record just because you can't stand the heat. Oh, okay, Godot. You're a little mean. Give the case to the kid, and where are you? Right back to that oncoming guilty verdict of yours. I would think you have enough sense not to risk that much.
Well, Miss Medina?
Just as long as I don't have to say anything else. Alright then, I can make this work. I heard our defendant here mention at one point that the kid's suspect sent her a text message. Am I correct? Whoa! Wait, when did you hear that?
That was merely a lie on her part, just to save her own hide was all.
A wise man leaps up every last drop of every last cup. Oh, you do well to remember that, curtain hair. Dang! I mean, Payne's hair is jacked up, but I did not expect that roast.
Curtain hair?
Kid. Yeah? Let's make something out of the mess, why don't we? You want to stay hired. Sort of? Not really? Not under a coffee addict like you? An actually talented lawyer can use evidence for much more than just one convenience. That text message leads to a much more useful conclusion if you can just extrapolate a little further. Why don't you go ahead and show the court where it leads before I finish this cup? It's not really that complicated, I bet even that prosecutor could manage. So that's pretty much your speed, isn't it? Wait a second, you can't just... Don't bother, Clay. Oh my god, when did Godot become so mean? Like, I remember him being mean in the third game of Phoenix, right? But like, I don't know. He seems like really mean now. But I've already tried. You better get to work, kid. Alright then, what else is that text message supposed to tell me? It would say that Andrea was expecting a message, right? Because she was checking her phone. No, wait, no. She was checking the sundial and then she received a message, right? So, It wouldn't be that she was expecting a message. It would show that, I mean, obviously it would mean that Sharp knew about the research, right? Because he was kind of badgering her about it, according to Andrea anyway, right? If Mr. Sharp needed an opportunity to cover up the murder, then why send the message to Andrea? Unless he knew it would keep her busy. Somehow, Mr. Sharp must have known that her research was missing and tipped her off about it. Oh!
And just how did he know that?
Well, I thought he was just badgering her about the plagiarism accusations in general. Maybe he might have taken it? I mean, Clay and Miss Medina never found the research, did they? If he had them for himself, it would be a perfect way to keep them distracted. I can't think of anything else that works in this scenario. Close, but I wager you're missing a detail. If you can't see the forest for the trees, you won't know how it grew to be there in the first place. If I overheard correctly, the defendant let something slip a bit earlier. Mr. O'Ryan had been really enthusiastic about my work, so he made it kind of hard to get access to. You heard that? Just how long were you sitting back and watching me struggle? Yeah, exactly! What were you doing? My guy was just sitting in the audience drinking a cup of joe? There were only 2 people who would have had easy access to our missing research. Our sweet little missing evidence's dear creator and his strongest supporter. Who now? Edwin? Oh, no, the victim. I'm an idiot. The defendant and the victim. So, kid, who exactly could have helped Word Boy here find what he wanted to get his hands on? Okay. So, it's definitely not Andrea, because she was looking for the missing notes herself. So, it would have had to be the victim, right? Well, if my client had any part in it, she wouldn't have any reason to have desperately searched for research papers. Yeah, exactly. And it sounds like Mr. Sharp couldn't have gotten them on his own. At least, that's the conclusion I've been heavily hinted to come to. So it would have to have been the victim, right? Alright now, easy question. Show us the reason why. Why? Why he decided to be so helpful, of course. There was no other way for the research to be brought out in the open, after all. What reason would he have made it to make it... What reason would he have made it make it so freely available? And how did your suspect get his hands on it so easily? Okay. Is there any reason why the victim would have brought Mr. Sharp the research? The plagiarism accusations? Yeah, okay. Well, it would have to have something to do with the plagiarism scandal, if anything, right?
Yes, if anything would make sense, that would.
Alright, now to draw whatever conclusion I was supposed to get from this. Let's see, maybe the victim brought Mr. Sharp the paper so they could confirm his accusation. So, this is supposed to lead us somewhere, right? Ah! Miss Medina has denied all accusations against her research, correct? If we can assume that my client was telling the truth for a moment, then Mr. Sharp's accusation would have to be false, right?
Why, yes, I suppose so.
Well then, where does that leave us? The victim takes Andrea's research papers to discover the true nature of the plagiarism accusation. By comparison between the two's research, he figures out he made a false accusation and then... Finally, you took your time. The defense posits that if there was any time and reason for the foul deed to be done, well, the precious paper boy just couldn't take the heat. His poor little fledgling pittance of a reputation was about to be scarred forever. We tend to be capable of a good many irregular deeds with our futures on the line, as I'm sure the prosecution would agree. Oh, isn't that kind of weird though? Huh? If all Edwin did was make a false accusation, it really shouldn't harm his reputation that much. He could just say he made a mistake. Would that really be enough to kill over? Now that you mention it, that does seem wrong. And if Mr. O'Ryan was going to take Andrea's research, wouldn't he at least give her a heads up?
The court may not know the full extent of what happened between the victim and our suspect, but I'd wager a good look at our missing paperwork should put its scalding secret into the light of day.
Right. Andrea's research is still missing.
I think it's obvious where it went next. If a perusal of the pretty papers helped the victim find the truth of matters, then our killer couldn't have left them out in this unguarded, chaotic world of ours.
Oh.
I'd like to request we search the apartment of a certain suspect of the defense's.
Well, we don't need to go through his possessions. This is a complete waste of the court's time.
We just proved it wasn't. Or at least gave valid reason for it not to be.
But besides, if the defendant really thinks that something in those research notes was enough to drive my witness to murder, then I doubt the notes would be in there in the first place. Mr. Sharp would have destroyed the evidence, not kept it.
Just as we all have two faces, so too does this particular piece of evidence. We have two faces? What? I may not have put much time into preparing for this trial, but from everything I've seen, well, I have reason to think your witness has good motive to keep our missing evidence close at heart. I'm willing to take a little gamble. It's not like it's my life that's on the line. Oh my god!
Your Honor, we can't allow this to just...
What's wrong, prosecutor? You shouldn't have a thing to worry about if you believe the witness's words. After all, they are the ones you constructed your argument upon, aren't they? Oh ho ho!
Well, yes!
I'm not liking Godot in charge. I'm sorry. Something's bothering me about it. My search, then, if you would, Your Honor.
Very well then, bailiff.
Oh. Everybody in the universe has its own gravitational field, and, they're best not to interfered with. I mean, you don't have to go through with the search, right? Why are you saying this? It just make things look bad if nothing showed up. Why are you saying this, Mr. Nadina? Trying to get in the way now, are you? Did you somehow forget what's at stake here? But there's gotta be some other way, hasn't there? You can't just... Are you really so deluded into thinking I care about whatever you're trying to hide? Holy crud! Oh, please. Just because the prosecution is allowed to make up what it wants doesn't mean you have to join in too. Do you expect me to buy into your little game because you're my client? Let you obstruct my work because I'm supposed to serve your every need. Can we please get Phoenix back as Apollo's boss? Heck, I'd take Christoph Gavin at this point. But you can't. I don't care what you're hiding or why you're hiding it. You hired me to get you off the hook for murder, that's all. Holy crud, man. Holy crud. If some pretty little secret of yours happens to drag you through the mud in the process, I could care less. I have never seen Prosecutor Godot act like this. Eek! Godot! I know we need to find the truth, especially if it keeps our client out of prison, but are we really supposed to do it like this? Wait, am I not about to let you... You all can put on whatever pitiable show you like, but it won't amount to much more than a grade school performance. Your Honor.
I'm not quite sure how I feel about this, but very well, I'll send you for your search, Mr. Godot.
Oh my gosh. You should know by now that uncertainty is a constant of life. If you shrivel down in the face of it, you won't amount to anything.
Yes, of course. Off you go then, bailiff.
Of course you wanna.
Prosecutor, what are you doing? Are you really just going to sit there and let him control the whole courtroom?
I know what's happening. There's still... Oh, yes, there's still my decisive evidence, the dusty doorknob, remember? Only the defendant and the victim had their fingerprints on the balcony door. Even if you find some meaningless paperwork, it won't do you any good if I have my proof. My witness was nowhere near where the deed was done.
Hiding behind that last sliver of hope, are we? Oh well, little chicks that were betrayed by their wings still need to learn to fly one way or another. Why don't we kick ours over the cliff and see if it can do anything other than flail? If the court could hear one last testimony, I'd like to see if the kid can destroy the last of the ground the prosecution's argument stands on.
Yes, of course. Mr. Sharp, if you would.
Okay. For the last time, I'm innocent.
No matter what your search defines, there's no way I could have done it. The doorknob corroborates that much. My prints are nowhere near it. Only the victims and the defendants. There's no way the crime occurred anywhere. See the balcony. Just peruse the autopsy report. I'm sure forensics is astute enough to figure out bruising. Where else could he have gotten them? And this inane text message, it doesn't exist. Why would I converse with that wretch in the first place? I didn't mean to manipulate her into a crazy search. How would I have known it would have bothered her that much?
Kicking back and watching a cross-examination shouldn't be a problem, right, Your Honor? We're waiting after all. What better do we have to do? Besides, it'll save us time once the evidence arrives, seeing as the prosecution won't have any more arguments to fall back on.
Yes, I suppose we might as well cross-examine the testimony.
Good. You know what to do, don't you? Yeah? And I think I was actually looking forward to today. Oh my god, I'm dreading today now. Why did I think anything would change when we stepped into the courtroom? Has he always been like this? Apollo, come on. You can't just let your boss walk in here like he owns the place and take all of your credit. And now what? The case depends on some random piece of evidence that may or may not be destroyed showing up. Normally, I don't think I'd like banking the whole case on something like that, but even if the search turns out foul, it's brought us a chance to dissect the prosecution's main argument. If I can bring down his logic here, the defense could probably stay in the case either way. Is that what's going on here? Just how much is being kept from me? Yo, this case took a turn, man. This case took a complete turn ever since Godot walked into the room.
No matter what your search defines, there's no way I could have done it.
Press. Even if we get exactly the evidence we need?
Well, there's still be the current argument, right, prosecutor?
Me?
Yes, you. Do your job, please.
Yes, whatever he said.
Look who's a picture of confidence now.
You could do to make some more mistakes if you like. That'd help.
No, thank you.
The doorknob corroborates that much. My prints are nowhere near it. Only the victims and the defendants. Press.
Is the doorknob really such irrefutable evidence?
Well, it doesn't have my prints on it. I know that much.
But there has to be something that's off, right? Come on now, kid. If you have a counter-argument, then come out and say it. Is there anything I can come up with that throws the doorknob into question? Well, it couldn't be that Sharp wiped his prints, because again, the dust on the doorknob, right? Clay's fingerprints are missing. Well, I mean, again, that's not gonna matter, seeing as, like, the prosecution's argument is that only Andrea, seeing as that only Andrea and Mr. Credence Orion went up to the balcony. But then again, Clay did mention that, like, they searched everywhere, including the balcony, right? Or no, Clay didn't mention that, but Andrea did. And if Clay had doubts on that, he would have said something, right? So, I think this might work. My logic really sucks. It can't be that Sharp wiped his prints, right? Yeah, I didn't freaking think so. Not as far as I can tell, Your Honor. No, I can't think of anything that would disprove the fingerprints, well, existing. And there's no evidence that Mr. Sharp's fingerprints should be there either. So I guess that's how it should be. Come on, there's gotta be another angle to attack this from. Hopefully we can find other angles to attack it from with the other statements, right?
There's no way the crime occurred anywhere, save the balcony. Just peruse the autopsy report.
But, well, what if there was another way to get onto the balcony?
Would you like to enlighten us, Mr. Justice?
No, thank you. Ha, fear blinds even the most well-honed of minds. You're just trying to bait me, aren't you? Aw, you don't want to present your theory about how the witness magically parkoured onto the balcony. He went up there with a skateboard and was like, yo, what's up, bros? Frankly, I'm disappointed. That's a surefire yes if I've ever heard one. Yes, of course, Clay. The guy magically parkoured onto the balcony. Thank you.
I'm sure forensics isn't astute enough to figure out bruising. Where else could he have gotten them from?
Press. Are you sure forensics couldn't have just made a simple mistake?
Well, it's not as if you're an expert on the subject.
Come on now, Mr. Justice. I ask that you put a bit more faith in our local forensics department. I made quite a few friends there from overseeing so many cases. I assure you they're quite nice people.
Oh, I guess that puts them above mistakes then.
Mr. Justice?
Alright. You don't have to say anything else. I get your point. So, the balcony doesn't work as a murder scene, but the victim had to have been bruised somehow. Think, Justice, where does that leave me?
In this inane text message, it doesn't exist. Why would I converse with that rich in the first place?
Press. What about your own phone? It should have a record of sending the message, right? If you're so eager to prove us wrong, then go ahead, hand it over.
Surely.
Wait, really?
Verily, you can check my cellular all you please. I only request that you don't ascribe to interpersonal provinces.
Okay. There's nothing on here. Of course he deleted it. He must have gone through and deleted everything. Of course he did.
Well?
You, have her contact information. Does that count for something?
Considering they're co-workers, I wouldn't say so, Mr. Justice.
Right. Back to the oh-so-familiar drawing board.
I didn't manipulate her into a crease search. How could I have known it would have bothered her that much?
Press. I got the impression that the research she'd done was quite impressive. Even the victim seemed to think so. So of course she'd go looking for it if it went missing. If you took it and then told her it was gone.
Well, why would she have any impetus to believe me? We weren't exactly on good terms at the time, were we?
No, I guess not.
Finally, you listen to something?
I don't think I like the courtroom very much anymore. I want to quit now. This is even worse than the main universe's first case. In terms of how screwed I am. I can't seem to find anything wrong with his line of logic here. Maybe I need to approach this from a different angle? It might take a bit of thinking first.
Yeah, his reasoning isn't all that faulty for once. I heard that. Yes, I heard that. Thank you very much.
Whoa, you throw a desperate dog a bone. Maybe I should whack you two over the head with them before you can throw any more. Just gotta get onto the testimony already.
Alright, now it's time to start thinking.
And just like that, my brain fails me.
I'm sure forensics is astute enough to figure out bruising. Where else could he have gotten them? I feel like, okay, Apollo said to approach this from a different angle, right? So, if we have to approach this from a different angle, that would either point to the text message, which we haven't really... I mean, but we've already talked enough about the text message, so it wouldn't be that. And I don't think it would have anything to do with, like, us trying to directly prove that he went to the balcony. So the different line of logic would be whether the bruises came from where they actually came from, right? So he said, okay, so if we think about the bruises, right? We have large continuous bruise across the back suggests a fall from a significant height. Smaller posthumous bruises likely due to the culprit's handling of the body. Maybe it could be that the smaller bruises didn't have to do with the culprit's handling of the body and they were for a much more different reason? Maybe? So, present that? No, God. It has to be this statement though. I know it does. Like, that's the only line of logic I can think of, right? But if it's not the autopsy report, then it can't be that. Maybe the research center photo? No. What? Why is it the diagram? Why is it the diagram? I genuinely have no idea why. Why is it the diagram?
If I can prove another way the bruising could occur, well, you can see that the murder could have happened elsewhere? Like, perhaps from the front entrance as opposed to the balcony?
The culprit wouldn't have to be particularly forceful, and even then, I could see the drop putting him into a state of shock, but killing him?
Right, a state of shock. Perhaps an opportunity. Hold on. The drop may not be as high as it is from the balcony, but neither is the distance. If the victim was in a state of shock, the culprit could have used the opportunity to hop down and press his body further onto the sundial.
Why then yes, I think that could work. But the fact still stands that the victim could have only caught in his bruise if he was pushed from the balcony.
And that's what I'm here to disprove. If the court would take a look at this diagram, please. The defense posits that this is where the bruise actually took place.
Okay, so not the balcony. So where would it be then? I don't know. Because there's not really anything in the parking lot that could be considered from a great height.
I retract my earlier statement. It's the only thing I can think of. The bruise would have had to be made with Clay's car.
How exactly do you manage to bruise a body with a car?
Do you remember earlier in the trial, Your Honor?
While in the lobby, I took the time to ask my witnesses a few questions and discovered that during the drive out of town, Mr. Tarrant's car was acting strangely.
Clay, can you elaborate on what exactly you told the prosecution? It should be acceptable testimony after all, considering he implemented it into his argument.
Well, it's something of an old car from our center. It's prone to act up now and then. But that day it was really, well, jumpy.
Oh. It probably wasn't safe to drive in now that I think about it.
No, hold on.
The defense proposes that the bruising didn't occur because of the fall, but because of the means by which his body was transported. If the body was in the trunk, all that had to happen was for the car to jump with the right amount of force once, and it would create a continuous bruise straight across his back. Oh my god. Ah!
Oh my.
The real crime scene could have easily been right in the middle of the garden.
Do you really think you can just wave your finger around and dispose such a basic fact of murder? Forensics would have confused bruises from a 30-foot fall with bruises from a car ride.
Yeah, I didn't think they would. That's why I was confused about that. Are you so sure about that curtain hair?
What is that supposed to mean?
I've worked enough murder cases to know what happens to a body when its heart can't keep beating. After death, gravity would cause the blood to congeal at the lowest point in the body. And considering the victim died and was found face up, well, just guess where the blood would congeal.
That would be across his back, wouldn't it? Why, that's the exact same place his bruise was.
Exactly. Forensics would be able to determine there was a bruise due to the state of the blood vessels. But the exact severity would be a different matter, right?
That does make your theory sound quite possible.
But what about the evidence? The court needs evidence, not some dumb possibilities.
Objection. Funny how we hide behind old shields even years after they've been rusted to pieces. Your evidence only needed to be watered down, so it lost its decisive status that you so love to cling to. So that if ours just happens to show up, well... You've seen some of your witnesses' reactions already, haven't you?
No, Your Honor, you can't allow this. I need this case to...
Stop your pathetic blubbering. It's too late now.
But...
We found the evidence! Huh, right on cue. Good to know the court bailiffs are still as punctual as ever, at least. Go ahead, Your Honor. Why don't you show the court what I found? Oh my god, their blood. It's covered in blood. I mean, that's incriminating enough as is.
Seems you were right again, Mr. Goodell. Just looking at the state of the evidence, this is most certainly definitive. Wait a second.
What is it, Your Honor?
If I'm reading correctly, this isn't your client's research at all. It's the witness's Mr.
Oh. What?
See, Your Honor, I told you, this was all farce. I've done nothing. It's not weird to find my own research in my apartment, not at all.
It's covered in blood, though. Just want to point that out.
Certainly nothing to kill over.
That's ridiculous. There's blood right there on the paperwork.
There's something else too. A couple of sentences scrawled on the margins.
Oh,
let's see here. Implement the data from figure 4 into your reasoning here. Change the wording of your abstract. It's too similar to mine.
Oh, plagiarism.
Try making the error bars slightly different. This can't be too obvious. The handwriting isn't exactly consistent between the notes either. It looks to me like they've been written by two different people.
Oh my gosh, was Andrea the other one? Wait, then what was the original thing? Huh. Just as I thought. How pathetic. Oh no. I don't think I like where this is going. So are you going to actually be strong and fess up, or will I have to do it for you? This really isn't necessary. You don't have to say anything else. I mean, the research has already been found, and just look at it. I thought I already made myself clear. I don't get why you expect me to protect your pretty little reputation. You're getting that verdict you wanted, and I could care less what that entails for you afterward. Oh my god. Dude, I paid for your services, man. I'm speaking on Andre's behalf here. I paid for your services, man. I would expect at least kindness to be written in there. What happened to you, bro? You can't just say that. She's our client. Exactly. Oh, so you'd like to get in the way of the truth too, would you now, kid? We're not getting in the way of the truth. That's not what I... Let me ask the court a question. If those papers are the word boys and not my clients, then why would she panic so much when she received that text message? Her own work should have been safe and snug where she left it after all. She could have easily checked to make sure it was still there, had Word Boy lied. Not having her co-workers' research shouldn't have been a problem, unless it implicated her in some way. Oh no.
But you couldn't have exactly plagiarized the witness's research. Then Mr. Sharp would have had no reason to call the victim.
Then there's only one solution. It had to implicate both of them.
But both? But that makes no sense!
If I remember correctly from what I heard of this case, it revolves around a certain humble research center. A home garden can be grown with all the care and love you like, but it can never compete with a plantation. The seeds can never grow so quickly with the attention of only one person. The sad truth of the matter is that a research center like the victims would never be able to compete, especially with the likes of ones we've seen in the news these days. Getting that level of attention will require something drastic. It's pathetic what human beings will do for notoriety. I'd wager Mr. Sharp's was just the first accusation in a series between the pair, meant to create a spectacle of lies for the public to be drawn to like moths to a flame. Quite the flame it could have been indeed. For a little place like that, even a little more attention would make it feel like it's been set ablaze. Okay. Holy crud. With enough planning, there would be no victor, and both would come out unscatched enough. But a certain someone happened upon our now bloody piece of planning, and that was the victim. Okay, probably left out for our little lady, if I had to guess. He wasn't so fond of the pair's ideas, so he decided to confront one of the culprits. He was involved in a scandal like that. I'd say it's worse than a mere charge of forgery. So our murderer got his hands a little dirty and solved that problem, whisking away the perfect piece of evidence to cover up the messy leftovers, and hopefully solve the initial scandal.
Excuse me?
I think I get it. If Mr. Sharp had this, he could figure out exactly where his data overlapped. And if he knew exactly what to call out, it would be pretty easy for him to prove his accusation. That would probably help wipe the whole problem under the rug. It's not like Miss Medina would have been in the position to refute him had things worked out. Well now, Word Boy, I say this research still fills its role in our case quite well then. Doesn't it? Especially considering the good bailiff found it in your very own apartment.
You can't just arrest me. You're not supposed to arrest me. Planting papers in my own apartment. I mean, that could mean any number of things. And those little notes. Who cares about some little notes? It's ridiculous, really. It's okay, Edwin. You have everything nice and planned out. No need to fuss. No need to worry. Everything's okay. It was his fault, not yours. Everything's going to go your way. Because... Oh, come on, Edwin. Don't you know why? Why can't you ever put your intellect to use for once?
Oh.
Come on, no, this is why you can put a good testimony, this is why nobody noticed it, this is why you had to lie, this is why your boss did it, this is why...
And breakdown. Is that enough for you, old man?
I should say so.
Then do me a favor and get this whole mess over with.
It seems this case has been seen to its conclusion. One way or another. Miss Medina.
Yes, Your Honor.
Though you still have quite a bit of trouble to contend with. In regard to the murder, we can't ignore the facts at hand. This court finds the defendant Andrea Medina
Not guilty. Oh, that not guilty kind of hurt. Oh no, Andrea.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Oh no. Oh, I feel so bad for Andrea. May 26th, 2:14 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 3. But then again, she shouldn't have gotten into that scandal, right? And you'll be officially recognizing me as your attorney, not the kid over there. Wow! Wow! Oh my god, I want to smack Godot across the face. Yes, sir. Good. Not good! What was that? What do you think you're doing? You call yourself a defense attorney? I thought you were supposed to be good at your job. Huh. Are you upset that I didn't treat your friend with the gentle care you wanted? Why even be a defense attorney if you're going to be like that? Oh my. Aren't you supposed to value saving people? Helping your clients? Protecting the innocent? How can anyone call you successful? This case was never important to me. Kato! That should have been very obvious from the very start. It's just another not guilty to make the track record look a bit better, that's all. I'm actually shocked! Why is Godot like this, dude? Better record, more money, fewer cases, less work. There was no reason I had to let her hide that inconvenient little truth of hers if it was going to get in the way. That's disgusting! I never claimed to be a moral pillar for you to worship now, did I? I'm just getting the job done well. But, now why don't the three of you just go ahead and have your pointless little pity party? Come back to the office for your share whenever you finish, kid. Alright. Oh my god. Feel so bad for Andrea, man. I thought I already made myself clear. I don't get why you expect me to protect your pretty little reputation. You're getting that verdict you wanted, and I could care less what that entails for you afterward. What a wreck of a first trial, seriously! I thought it would go, well, at least better than this. Is the world just out to get me lately? I think so. I think so, Apollo. I'm really sorry, Andrea. I shouldn't have recommended you in the first place. I got my acquittal, Sir Clay. That's all I asked for. But perhaps that's what the path the sky above had laid out for me. Who am I kidding? What good will that nonsense do me now? Any kind of career in the field I might have had has been ruined. Aww. It wasn't a good idea to go along with, you know. I knew that. I always knew that. I understand if you thought the plan was unsightly, you can think what you want of me. Zed, my co-worker said, that if we could attract attention to our paper and if I made it good enough, we'd get more funding. In theory, at least. There wouldn't be enough evidence to prove our accusations if we planned it right. Just enough so that they held a bit of water. If it worked, maybe I could get my hands on some better equipment. Extend my work in observations. The idea of it all just seems so appealing. Aww. I was willing to have my reputation take a bit of a hit for it, if more eyes were on our research center. I know it must be so absurd to you, Sir Clay, Sir Justice, but to know that my research hadn't reached its full potential, that I might never have the equipment or resources that you guys have over at Cosmos. The idea was tormenting me. But now, I won't get any job in astronomy again. I knew it was stupid. I knew the whole time. It's all my fault. Of all the people to go along with. Now I've gone. Hey, calm down. You can still work freelance, right? How would I get anywhere with a reputation like this? If I hadn't been such an idiot. If I hadn't. Hey, stop that! Don't you dare say another word. Oh, listen to me. Pull yourself together. Sir Clay, I'm not saying what you did wasn't stupid, but don't lose yourself over it. So please, just listen for a moment. We had a partnership with your research center, remember? We'd support you guys as long as you supported us. Well, your research center probably won't really exist for much longer, but who's to say the partnership won't? We'll have to keep things anonymous, no putting your name on anything. And I doubt everyone over there will trust you right away. But, well, I think we might be able to get the director to sympathize. Director Cosmos. Yeah, you know what? I feel like he'd be the kind of guy to sympathize. You mean... Hey, don't get too excited. We don't want any more scandals now, do we? I'm gonna have to keep a close eye on you. Thank you. You can keep me under surveillance as constant as gravity. I could care less. This is a blessing, really. Aww. That's so nice. Yo, Clay is awesome, man. Clay is the greatest. I had a feeling we could make this work out. Besides, I think there's someone else who deserves your thanks right now. Right, Apollo? Me? Huh? Indeed, I'm free now in most senses thanks to your efforts, Sir Justice. And for the record, I far preferred your defense. Ah, yeah. I did a better defense than the best lawyer in the town, supposedly. You, did a good job and helped save me, well, a lot. Just as much, even. Even if the truth had to come out, I would have much rather it had been you. Thanks? No, I'm thanking you. Hey, brighten up a bit. This isn't your fault. The truth's come to light, and we're making it work, aren't we? Isn't that the end goal in these cases anyway? Yeah, that's great, really. Everything could still work out. What's bothering you? It's nothing. I'm fine. It's your boss, isn't it? No. It's his boss. Definitely. Maybe. Yeah, we all knew it was your boss. Oh, come on, really? Did you see how he treated Andrea in there? How he treated you, even? I know. Apollo. Yeah? Why are you working for that guy? Well, he was hiring, and he was one of the best records of this side of the country, so I thought, really, Apollo? You're supposed to be the smart one of the two of us, remember? Ouch. Look, if you want to work under a talented attorney, that's fine. But I don't want any of this to keep up. If you can't change the situation, you walk straight out of that office, you get it? I know unemployment can be rough, but trust me, if that's the standard for how he treats people, it'll be worth it. I'll help you through it if that's what you need, okay? Yo, Clay, give it up for Clay, man. This guy's awesome. Okay, that's not enough. I want you to promise me. Straighten things out with that guy or you quit. You got that? You got 2 weeks tops to make something out of your current job. I promise. You do? Of course. That's what I want to hear. You're Apollo Justice and you'll do just fine. I'll tell the stars to cheer for you with us, Sir Justice. I don't know how much that'll help, but I want to believe it will. Don't worry, we'll figure this out one way or another, won't we? Yeah, we'll manage somehow. We always do. Thanks to the two of them, I felt a bit better leaving the courtroom after that mess of a first trial. I suppose in the end, Godot won an acquittal. But I left the courthouse that day with a promise to keep. Honestly, it looked more like a promise to quit than anything else. The more I think about it, the idea of being unemployed for a little while now doesn't seem so bad. Especially if Clay will be there to support me. But I guess the alternative deserves a try at least. Though I'm pretty sure it'll be impossible to work things out. At least that's what I thought. But now there might be a chance. A very small chance, but a chance nonetheless. I found a lead that I hadn't accounted for. One that was staring me right in the face the entire time I've been employed here. The name of our law office. Huh? Wait, what about the name of the law office? Credits? Playtesting feedback. Sugar Milk, Spoon of Destiny, and Burb is the word. DML playtesters Rise on the Ashes and user MC Skull, and of course the creator, Masquerade Demir, who did a great job. Turnabout Dawn. Okay, so this is all the music, right? And where they originally came from? Thank you for playing. You're very welcome. Is that it? Oh, okay. That ended. It just ended like that. Okay, so that was Turnabout Dawn, the first case of Apollo Justice Appeal to Truth. My thoughts? A great first case, honestly. It was very well constructed. I liked the logic. A few times I've struggled very much. I actually got a few game overs off screen, but I didn't really want to show that because, like, they're game overs, and, you know, I already make a fool of myself as it is. But overall, I thought this case was really charming. Andrea was an amazing character. Clay was really supportive. But this case does leave a lot of mysteries. Namely, why Godot is Apollo's boss. Where the heck is Phoenix? We have no idea where that guy is. And why is Godot acting so mean? Like, obviously he was very stern, and he had a few, like, mean parts in the third game, Phoenix Wright Trials and Tribulations. But, like, it wasn't to this level. Like, this was really scorchingly mean. And of course, there is the underlying message behind this whole case with the whole scandal and what Apollo has to do from now on. My thoughts on I feel like I can see both sides. Like, I can see Godot's side in this whole affair, and I can see Clay and Andrea's and Apollo's side in this whole affair, right? First of all, there's no doubt that Godot is, like, really corrupt now. The man just wants more money, and it's absolutely horrendous. But of course, throughout all of the Phoenix Wright games, we've always been pursuing the truth, and Godot wasn't doing anything wrong in pursuing the truth, per se. Like, pursuing the truth is a totally fine goal, but, like, at this point, Godot is still a defense attorney, and even if you drag out a scandal that drags your client's reputation through the mud, that's unfortunate, But I feel like he should have provided more of a defense to Andrea's character in that sense, because it's clear that Andrea had no malintent in the first place. Like, she didn't want to do anything bad. She's not a bad person at all. She's a very good person. But Godot didn't do that. And I think by failing to paint Andrea's character in a more truthful light, or in a better light, that in a way is sort of sacrificing the truth itself. That's what I personally thought about the whole thing. So I personally still side with Apollo and Andrea on that one, but I can't fault Godot in itself for trying to pursue the truth. But his intentions are totally screwed up, man. It's absolutely horrible. But I love this case. I thought this case was great. Huge thanks to Masquerade Demir for making it, and I'm so glad I got to play it. I hope you had a lot of fun watching it too. I hope my voices weren't that annoying, and I hope you had a good time watching this. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you really like what you see, if you think I'm really stupid and you want to watch me fail more, please subscribe to this channel. And if you want to see more content, you can always check my Geometry-Completions channel, as well as my Twitch channel, where I stream relatively frequently. Thank you guys, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye! Peace!